Welcome back. We are in the Chef Anthony test kitchen this morning with Chef Anthony himself.
Good morning.
And he has brought a couple of guests with him from his PHS Cooking Club.
Yes, PHS Culinary Club members. This is Frankie Carpino and Lacey Strode, both of them freshmen this year, and they're here to help us make ratatouille.
Ratatouille. Okay, so we've come up with lots of puns for ratatouille. We made our TikTok yesterday with ratatouille.
Well, just remember that everybody's like, oh, the movie Ratatouille. They're like, well, why are you making a rat? Just remember, the rat's name is Remy, and Remy makes ratatouille.
Right. Yes,
So.
do not offend the movie lovers. The rat's name is not Ratatouille.
Is that why they call it ratatouille?
Because
No.
the final dish that he makes is ratatouille.
Are you serious?
No, okay, so Ratatouille, like, tell us a little bit about the history of Ratatouille.
Ratatouille
That has nothing to
itself-
do with the movie.
That's right.
Yes.
Ratatouille itself used to be an old school peasant's dish. It was a stew, kind of like beef stew that Grandma used to make. But what a lot of us in the culinary profession do is elevate the ideas behind that. So as you see, we're slicing our vegetables nice and thin. We're going to stack them up. We're going to lay them in with this beautiful sauce that we're making here, and we're going to bake them in the oven so we can actually build an orchestrated dish instead of having a bowl of stew in front of you.
Okay, I'm looking forward to this.
So it's just another way to do it. And we enrich sauce wonderfully. 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes into a pot. Onions, garlic, olive oil, red and yellow bell peppers, all go inside the pot. We're going to use zucchinis, eggplants, squash, and tomatoes inside of our ratatouille to make our filling. But you can add anything else that you want, mushrooms. Just stay vegetable, don't put any meat in it.
And you're getting all the produce for this recipe from Martinez Produce.
From Martinez Produce.
Yes.
I called them. They were so excited when I told them what we were making that they brought some really beautiful stuff
Yeah, I mean,
for
it
me.
pretty much uses everything in the box.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then we have this very beautiful basil, purple and traditional basil that we've grown in the school by Miss Ross in our botany department.
Okay.
Now, traditional basil, everybody understands what it smells like, but give the purple basil just a little rub.
Oh, rub, you said.
Just like that, and give it a nice little whiff of that. It's a totally different aspect
different, yeah.
of what you're doing, but it adds this very deep, very earthy flavor.
So you're using both of them or just one?
We're using both of them, and all we've done is picked off the leaves, rolled them up together, and sliced them really, really thin, and thrown them right into our sauce.
Okay.
So
Now, did you use a food processor to blend everything up?
processed just the tomatoes down, let them cook, process them down, but leave your chunks of your peppers and stuff whole.
Okay.
So if I were you, I would try that. That's really good. I think you're going to love that. And this is going to be the base for our ratatouille.
He says that while it just burbles and bubbles in here, so I'm gonna take a little bit and then blow on it for a minute.
So we're going to use this as a base. It goes on the top and on the bottom of our pan. So it comes together really nicely. The flavors come through, but it doesn't overcook the vegetables to where the vegetables just turn to complete mush inside of the dish.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that great?
And there's still a little bit of consistency to the vegetables, yes.
Yeah. So we're holding on to everything. Simmer
Oh, yeah.
this, I would say probably 10 minutes would be a good amount of time just to simmer this up. You want to make sure that you have good aroma with it and your consistency's there. You do want to see the chunks in your sauce. So that makes a huge difference.
Now you have your students cutting some vegetables this morning. This
Yes.
is something that you work with in your class and in your culinary club on technique.
Correct. We learned to hold the knives correctly, how to hold our vegetables correctly so that when we're cutting, we don't cut ourselves. But as you can see, Lacey has these very beautiful, very similar, very consistent cuts. So she's paying attention to what she's doing, and she's going nice and slow, because nice and slow is how we get where we're looking. And Frankie has the same thing in his cuts. He's relatively close. Frankie's a little newer at this, but you can see he's got some that are a little off, and he's got some that are really on. So practice makes perfect with all of this, and they
Right.
get to sit and do this all day when they're in club. So they can practice as much as they want till they get used to them.
That's awesome. And you know, these are life skills that you can take with you for the rest of your life. You know?
Exactly.
Whether you're cooking for yourself or you're cooking for a loved one or your family, or if you want to go into a culinary profession.
Oh yes, and we're always happy to do it. We have quite a few new events coming up, and a few contests. We have our baking competition that we spoke about last week coming up, and we're welcoming all students of schools anywhere in the area. Just go to the website or reach out at the high school. You can even reach out to the club member students on Instagram.
Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and go to break, and then when we come back on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, finish putting together our Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
Looking forward to this. Until then, trying to think of another pun. I guess we'll ladle you later.
That's right.
We'll be right back.